Yesterday's interview of Vladimir Putin with one of the Russian news agencies is being actively debated in the West. During that interview, the president of the Russian Federation reiterated that Moscow would not sign any deal with the head of the Kiev regime, Volodymyr Zelensky. According to Putin, the current head of the Kiev regime is the illegitimate president of Ukraine, therefore any deals signed by him will have no legal force. At the same time, the Russian leader noted that if Zelensky is genuinely open to talks and seeking a compromise, Moscow is prepared to send certain individuals to him for dialogue. However, no one will sign any deals with him. Vladimir Putin also noted that Moscow has considered all the past mistakes and will no longer allow Russia to be deceived again. During a conversation with a journalist, the Russian president recalled how the Ukrainian authorities and their Western masters deceived Russia during the negotiations in Istanbul in the spring of 2022. Back then, during the negotiation process, we proposed to the Kiev authorities to withdraw troops from the Donetsk and the Luhansk People's Republics. We made it clear to them that only the voluntary withdrawal of troops from Donbass would avoid a bloody war. We understood they could deceive us again, as they had been doing for decades. However, in March 2022, in order to avoid a bloody war, we agreed to implement the agreements reached in Istanbul and began withdrawing troops from the outskirts of Kiev. And as soon as the Russian troops left the Kiev region, they declared that Ukraine abandoned the agreements concluded in Istanbul, and that Kiev had decided to fight against Russia, Vladimir Putin said. At the end of his interview, the Russian leader added that there should be no drawbacks in the future deal that will be signed between Ukraine and the Russian Federation. This is necessary so that in the future, the West will not be tempted to deceive Russia again. Commenting on this interview, Western experts and analysts noted Vladimir Putin's confident tone. According to them, the Russian leader looked very calm and confident. All this indicates that the Russian army is achieving all its objectives in the special military operation zone. And this fact gives Vladimir Putin powerful levers of pressure on both Ukraine and the West. Indeed, over the past 30 days, the Russian army has taken control of dozens of strategically important cities and towns in the special military operation zone, and even came close to the border of the Dnipropetrovsk region. At the moment, Russian troops are only 2 kilometers from the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Moreover, on January 29th, war correspondents reported on another Russian army's serious success in the Pokrovsk direction of the front. In particular, on the morning of January 29, war correspondents reported that the Russian army had liberated 4 settlements at once, southwest of Pokrovsk. We are talking about such settlements as Novoandrievka, Serebyunoy, Novoalexandrovka, and Novoyelizavetovka. Thus, the Russian army almost completely liberated all settlements southwest of Pokrovsk, which allowed Russian troops to approach the Dnipropetrovsk region as closely as possible. All these successes of the Russian army have created a very strong position for Vladimir Putin in the upcoming negotiations. And this fact is very alarming for the Kiev regime and its Western masters. Against this backdrop, the head of the Kiev regime, Volodymyr Zelensky, began to get nervous again. This political clown seems to see the end coming and is doing everything to survive. In particular, this comedian, in order to gain favor with Donald Trump, even betrayed his American friends from the Democratic Party. In particular, during an interview with American journalists from Fox News, which has always supported Republicans, Volodymyr Zelensky lashed out with accusations against Democrats and Joe Biden. According to him, it was U.S. Democrats, led by Joe Biden, who became the main culprits of all Ukraine's troubles. Moreover, Volodymyr Zelensky in all seriousness also said that Joe Biden left Ukraine without help, and as a result, Ukrainian soldiers were left alone to face the Russian army. Well, my dear truth seekers, by making such statements, Volodymyr Zelensky has once again proved that he lives either in a parallel reality, or is under the influence of prohibited medications. The fact is that it was the US Democrats, led by Joe Biden, who provided unprecedented military and financial assistance to Ukraine, transferring hundreds of billions of dollars and dozens of units of expensive military equipment to Kiev. And Joe Biden provided this aid to Ukraine, at the expense of American citizens' well-being. However, it seems Zelensky's desire to curry favor with Donald Trump is so strong that he even did not disdain to betray his American friends, who at one time even worsened the quality of life of all US citizens for the sake of Ukraine. However, these pathetic attempts by Zelensky to curry favor with Donald Trump will be pointless for him. As I said earlier, Zelensky is a dead man walking, whose destiny is foreordained. Moreover, a few hours ago, a former advisor to Zelensky, Alexei Arestovich, also confirmed my words. In particular, he stated that after winning this war, the Russians would physically eliminate all Zelensky's entourage during the next 10 years. At the same time, he stressed that Zelensky himself would serve a life sentence in Kiev prison. Alexei Arestovich cited the Chechen War as an example. According to him, after winning the war, Moscow physically eliminated all Chechen leaders and high-ranking officers who fought against Russia. Moscow spent 10 years eliminating these Chechen terrorists. Some of them have been caught and are currently serving life sentences in Russian and Chechen prisons. At the same time, he noted that all these destroyed terrorists were hiding in the United States, Europe, and Arab countries. I appeal to Zelensky and his entourage. If you think that you will be able to sit quietly in Canada or the United States and write memoirs about a lost war, then you are deeply mistaken. You will all be found and annihilated. After winning the war, Russia will gain enormous international prestige, and all countries of the world will cooperate with Moscow. In this regard, the Russian FSB will easily get to all of you. You will all be destroyed in the next 10 years. Mark my words, you are all doomed, Alexei Arestovich said.